Hey guys, it's Charlie here, and Palworld has quickly risen to be one of the best games of 2024. And in my opinion, it's close to being one of my favourite games ever. It combines my favourite gameplay elements, monster taming, building and shooting, but the one thing holding it back for me is the creature designs. Some of them just feel uninspired, and others literally just feel like Pokemon with a colour palette of another. So I tried my hand at fixing a couple of these pals in this video. I'll be redesigning 5 different pals from Palworld, so if you want more, maybe subscribe and let me know in the comments what pals you'd want in a part 2. But before we get on to redesigning, if you like me and you love making Fakemon, then you should definitely check out our collaboration region Discord that we have going on called Pokemon Cavern and Coast, where you can design a Fakemon from a list of prompts for the region. You can join with the link in the description. Now, the first pal I chose to redesign was Toko Toko. Honestly, I really like this design, but I think you can see what's wrong with it. Like a lot of other pals, it literally just stole Zatu's colour palette, and in my opinion, it's really obvious. Also, apparently it's supposed to be a toucan, and I guess it did steal Toucanon's beak, but to me it looks more like a rooster in proportions and all of its attributes. So that's what I leaned into. Here is the redesigned Toko Toko, a neutral element pal. I think this is probably my favourite design of the video. It really feels like a real Pokemon, never mind a real pal. I used elements of the Rooster of Barcelos, which is mostly recognisable as the Nando's logo. But honestly, this would have been perfect for the Paldea region. I also tried to implement more explosive elements and patterns, since in its pal deck and in gameplay, it produces explosive eggs, and once it runs out, Toko Toko itself explodes. I'm quite happy with how this design turned out, and it definitely doesn't feel like Zatu anymore, which is a win. The next pal I decided to redesign was Fenglope, the knockoff Cobalion. I feel like this pal has such potential. A cloud antelope, that could be so sick, but they just stole Cobalion's colour palette and the face looks kinda goofy. So we're gonna amp up the cool factor, and here we have Fenglope's redesign. Still a neutral element pal. The colours still give off the same vibe, but don't resemble Cobalion as much. I really like this design, not much more to say about it. I just changed the colour palette and made it cooler. But one pal I did change a lot was Dinossum. It actually just feels like a Goodra Meganium fusion, or even just a grass type Goodra. I completely changed Dinossum's body type so that it less resembles Goodra and more Meganium, since it also says in its pal deck entry that it rampages on, and it'd be pretty scary to see something with this body type raging towards you. So with that, here's the redesigned Dinossum, a grass and dragon element pal. It resembles Meganium a lot more, but I tried to change the colours a lot so it wouldn't look like it as much. I added a lot more pink onto the design because the blossom in Dinossum just makes me think of cherry blossom and pink. And that's mostly it for Dinossum. If you're enjoying the video so far, please consider subscribing, it'd really help me out. The next pal I decided to redesign is Robinquill, who in my opinion looks a lot like Decidueye, in inspiration and colour palette. However, other people told me that it resembles Gallade, Blaziken, and a lot other Pokemon, so it definitely needs a redesign. I wanted to lean a bit more into the Robin Hood inspiration with this one, so that's exactly what I did. Here's the redesign of Robinquill, a grass element pal. This design also feels a lot more grass element. I actually thought the original Robinquill was a neutral element, but it's actually grass. I gave this new Robinquill a lot of green and red, since that was Robin Hood's main colour palette. One more thing I added was Robin Hood's signature hat on his head, but overall the design is very similar to the original, mainly just a minor change. Now the last pal I've redesigned for the video is one of the mascots for the game, Anubis, which, can I just say, why the fuck is it called Anubis? Like, it's one of the only pals with just a word as its name. Me personally, I would have named it something different. I came up with the name Anubis for it, which fits. And in my redesign, I leaned a lot heavier into the Anubis side, and less looking like Lucario. So I also changed its element from ground to dark. And with that, here's the redesigned Anubis, a dark element pal. I do like this design, but I don't know if I'd like it more than the original. However, it definitely feels less like a human than the original Anubis. And these are all 5 pals I redesigned for this video. If you like them, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and I might make a part 2. Before the video ends, once again, if you like drawing Fakemon, make sure to join the Discord link in the description to help us create our collab region. And that's it for this video. See ya!